Red alert! Set an intention. Go to Salon track.
Ahoy, hoy, friends, and welcome to a special edition of the Salon. Resistance is silly. We are doing an away team report tonight. Before we do all the podcast things real quick, please do like and subscribe. We will be live this Thursday as usual at 6:30 p.m. Pacific here on YouTube. We're on all the podcast platforms the next day. You can find us at Salon Trek wherever you get your nonsense, and we hope our nonsense is for you. We're also on Patreon. We have a really fun bonus episode up about cause and effect with a really interesting theory about one Dr. Beverly Crusher that you will not want to miss. So check out our Patreon and those fun bennies. And I'm sure we'll get a Bev alert going tonight. And, you know, cheers to that. I also want to quickly say thank you to our friends over at Trek Movie who noticed a little bit of nonsense that we put out on social the other week about this theory that we came up with about maybe this weird ass rubber ass Gorn that the Metrons called a Gorn could be Captain Patel. Maybe, maybe not. A little bit of Star Trek fun. And they asked us to write up an article on it for Trek Movie. And we have several new subscribers from this article and from STLV. So welcome. Thank you to Trek Movie for having us. We love everything that you all are doing. And we'll talk about them a little bit when we talk about panels this evening as well. Now, with that, let's get into the away team report. I am so excited about STLV. It was so much fun. I got to bring in the crew for it. And here we go. Energizers to full or whatever. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go to STLV every year for the rest of our lives. It was so much fun. Hello, William. Hello, Trevor. Matt will not be with us tonight, but how y'all doing?
Good, recovering.
Yeah, that part. I'm great. My liver.
Yeah.
Indeed, the convention crud, as Trevor calls it, definitely paid me a visit. Luckily, so far, I'm testing negative for COVID. And after this morning's wake up, needing to cough fit, I feel fine now. Still definitely tired, still a little achy, but it was worth it. And we're going to talk about why. So, Will, this was your first STLV. Why don't you kick us off and tell us what were your overall impressions? How was it for you?
I had fun. I mean, I wasn't like, I don't be like, I wasn't expecting much, but like it was very interesting because I noticed something about Star Trek fans where they're very respectful of the like other people and like the celebs around, like the stars and the people involved. So like, it was very interesting because you would see them walking across, but no one was like trying to run them down. They're just like walking through the space, you know, because you can't do that at other conventions and things. These people are sequestered and like, you don't get to meet them, you know, you don't get to sit there and get an autograph from these people or like have a conversation with them. Like or see them roaming the hotel. It's like, it's very different, but like, no, I thought it was really fun. I had a good time. Excited to go back next year, but yeah. No, it was cool. I'm going to bring a bag to fill with chips and things. So, yeah. But no, I had a great time. Yeah. Also, the gayest place. Someone was like, there needs to be more LGBTQ representation in the convention. I was like, bitch, you have eyes? Like, look around. There's faggots all running all over this place. They're everywhere. There are
But
gays everywhere.
And definitely in the franchise, they need to stop fridging the gays and sidelining our stories. Because if STLV was any indication, the future is fagatry.
Yeah, clearly. It was just gay. So many gays. So many.
It's Star Trek. It's Star Trek Pride.
Basically, yes.
Basically. Yeah. No, it's great.
Trevor, how was this wasn't your third year. This was our third year together.
It was our third year together. It was my fourth time. Every year I think, okay, it's not going to be as cool as it was last year because like you can't top that. And every year it's just like I think as I relax into not feeling like I have to see and do everything, I find myself having more and more fun and just sort of letting go. I always have this preconceived idea of like every panel I'm going to see, and I've got a 10 o'clock, I've got an 11 o'clock, I've got a 12:45, like, and I end up doing less than half of it because Matt wants to go one place, Will wants to go one place, Stan wants to go one place. Like we all just and I'm like, no, I'd rather hang out with my friends than run to this stupid thing that I was going to watch that I can just catch another silly one next year. That said, every time I sit in a panel, I end up having a great time, especially, and I just want to have to give like little shout outs to the smaller panels in the smaller rooms are so much more fun and interesting and informative and sort of, if I can steal a Star Trek term, energizing.
Yes.
The Trek movie panel on Canon was great. My God, the Sci-Fi Sisters like hosting a panel on my favorite term for certain populations of nerds, the blurred population, and their experiences and just the passion with which each panelist spoke. I couldn't get enough of those smaller ones, and I'm really glad that they keep happening. I know Vic's Lounge was sort of a carve out, I think a year or two ago. It was relatively new, and it's just gotten more and more popular, and I really appreciate that the smaller panels are getting more attention and are starting to get a little too big for that room. So that's really fun.
Yeah, everyone that we saw in there, they were full. Like there was more people sitting. There was like those little areas were pretty full. Like I would say sometimes they felt like there was more in them there than they were at some of the panels.
Yeah. Now that said, I still one of my favorite salon activities at STLV, besides the drinking after, but during the con is actually finding like maybe all the way in the back row or second to the back row, and we all just sort of spread out and get comfy and put our feet up because no one's back there and no one's sitting in those back rows, and we just chill out in the in a relatively dark room that's air conditioned, and we relax and listen to whoever's talking. We always hear something new and see something interesting on the screen, so that's one of my favorite STLV pastimes as well. So yeah, there was plenty of that this year.
Yeah, I agree. This was my third year in a row, and I think you're right, Trevor. The Vic's Lounge was mostly just food 2 years ago. It was like a little snack hall area, and it wasn't great, and they had very limited programming. Last year they added some. This year they had even more. And you're right, it's gotten to be some of the more interesting panels. I had so much fun. Will and I roomed together. We hit the pool early on Thursday before we really got into convention mode, which was a nice way to charge with the sun before we were going to be locked into the dark for 4 days. Not that I mind.
Nap I had in a year. The best nap I had in a year after that. Ugh.
God, nothing beats an after pool nap. It is delightful. And then recharged for the evening activities. It was so fun to see people that we only see at these events and meet people for the first time. We got to meet Chris, who I see in the chat, and Jake, who I see in the chat. Thank you again for the delightful shirts. We met. I met one of the Sci-Fi Sisters for the first time, and got to see the other the two that were there. Seeing Matt from Blurred. So many wonderful people. The Tex Trek friends that we have with some delightful cosplay all around. And we definitely got in on the fun. We had our Salon boys regenerating, which was delightful to see. Because you have to, especially when, again, all the panels delightful. However, I will say, sometimes when our panelists, and this isn't just a dig for Trek movie, this is for all of the moderators, a little hint to the people lining up about what they should and should not be thinking about sharing, always helpful. These are time for questions. A question does not have a 5-minute statement. There was one gentleman in that panel in particular who seemed to think that he was at home watching his TV and conversing out loud as if he was on the panel. It's like, no, sir. We can all hear you. And he was wrong about something that the panelists
about many things. Many things.
The majority of what he was saying was wrong, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but
yeah,
unsurprising it was to everyone.
So funny to see Kayla from Trek Movie say, I think you might be confusing headcanon with real world events that did not happen and therefore would not be in Trek anymore, or whatever the hell he was saying. But my favorite
it doesn't break canon if we haven't had World War III yet.
Oh, yes.
It's basically the
yeah. It's like, what? Yeah.
It was hilarious. And I especially love when she said that the original series is not so fragile, when someone was complaining about Strange New Worlds skating on canon. It's like it doesn't. Somebody said it ruined it for them. I'm like, well, TOS is not that fragile. It still exists.
Yeah, I actually had. I don't know if I want it anyway, but
your hot take.
Yeah, my hot. Well, I have two hot. I had a hot take that I was gonna say until that one guy came up there, and I was like, I don't want to have to fight this man out in the lobby, because I was gonna say canon hasn't mattered since the original movie, since they changed the look of the Klingons. Like, it has not mattered, and canon didn't even matter within Star Trek itself, the original series itself. So it's like, who cares? I think I liked everyone for that panel. I liked Kayla, but like, even she was like hypocritical and inconsistent with what she believed was canon, because she was like, the original series is not so it's not so fragile, but then doesn't like that Chapel is in the show in Strange New World. So it was like, pick a battle, people. It's like, you have to be consistent. Like, you have to be consistent with what you believe to be canon, and you having issues. Like, you can't piecemeal it, which I felt like a lot of their comments were kind of leaning into, unfortunately. But that was just me and being irritated by the man.
I jotted down when Stan sent out sort of what we would sort of a general outline of what we might talk about today. I did jot down, though, one thing that I appreciated that Kayla said, which was that essentially we all have to pick what matters to us. Like, because the overall topic was, does canon matter, and if so, when? And Kayla was very clear that yes, she had some things that were immovable for her in terms of where she drew the line. But she did say that, we all sort of pick what that line is. Like, what is sacred is basically how I interpreted it. Like, what I have my sacred things that shouldn't be violated, and sometimes they are, and it's okay. But like, as long as Star Trek doesn't become, they've renamed it Space Force, and it's a organization of white human men who fly around and try to, correct the galaxy. I'm relatively okay with other canonical problems. Like, as long as it stays true to being a positive thing where diversity matters and we're making moral choices, and when we don't make them, we reflect on them and that sort of thing, then I'm relatively happy. But anyway, I'm rambling.
While we're on the topic of panels, were there other panels that y'all wanted to highlight? Anything fun you learned or heard?
I think for me, I kind of spoiled it already just by saying I loved the Sci-Fi Sisters panel. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
and it was great seeing Tamia and Yvette again. I remembered somehow. I must have written it down because I'm not that good. Last year, right after STLV, Sci-Fi Sisters did their recap, and they actually mentioned us and thanked us for giving them candles. But Yvette commented that one of her kids took hers. And so I made a point to make sure that she got another candle this year. So Yvette from Sci-Fi Sisters got her replacement candle. But their panel was wonderful.
Yes.
Will, I'm not sure if you had another one.
No, that one I liked. We only caught the tail end of the Voyager one because there was like a joint and then they broke in half. And I liked the panel was good. Like the one where Kate Mulgrew had the interaction with the little girl that was the electrical engineer. Wonderful, like really wonderful moment that I think like really encapsulates honestly Star Trek. I think that moment was probably like the point where I was like, this is it's a safe place. It's a good place. We were in the good place.
Yeah.
So it felt like that. Like it really did feel like that. Like I didn't feel tension. I didn't feel weird about anything. Like walking around in a Star Trek in a Starfleet uniform, like elbowing past like some family from Cincinnati. It just felt exactly. It just felt supernatural and weird. And like I was like drunkenly planning on what to do for the next one. It was like, yeah.
Yes, we have thoughts for next year already.
Oh yeah, we're doing it. We're working on that. But yeah, so really cool. It was fun. I had a great time, and everything we went to was great. I don't think there was really a dud in the bunch. I mean,
yeah, my only dud was certain questions. It's always funny to me, like, if they do Legacy, would you want to be in it? Like, these are working actors. Yes, they want to be in it. Yeah.
Right.
Or the technical questions that like they can't answer. Like, actually, shout out to Celia Rose Gooding, because she got a question that personally I don't think is appropriate for the actor to get, but it is an appropriate question to be asking of Paramount. Somebody had asked about queer representation and how, the Strange New Worlds is a show that is ripe with opportunity for queer storytelling, and it seems that it's all getting brushed under. What's up with that? And Celia is like, well, we work for Paramount. This is Paramount Star Trek. And as a queer person myself, and she went on to talk about how important representation is and what they've been able to do and what they hope to be able to do more. But like, good on her. I'm sorry she got that question. Fuck Paramount for sweeping that kind of thing under the rug. So that was the only thing about panels that I didn't like this year was, well, two things. Some questions that just like did not make sense, and like the trauma dumping that usually happens. And some of the moderators, definitely not Sci-Fi Sisters, definitely not Trek Movie. Lori had a great panel. I'll just say,
start hiring us to do it, because we're better moderators than the people they had to moderate the damn panels. And like, we were far and away better than 80% of them. I was like, we could have done that better than them. Like,
Yeah. And I'm 3 years into going and 3+ years into doing this podcast. I'll be brave. I'll be controversial yet brave. They let Scott Mans do too much. Like, don't fire him entirely, but every panel, which was way too many this year, his personal anecdotes, him moving shit around on the stage to make it more comfortable for him. Like,
and then the cameraman trying to find people because he's moved the chairs.
Yes, like,
and it was
so
also,
much time was wasted.
Over there because there's a band behind them. Like, the band couldn't get behind them because he moved them. I was like, there's a reason they were there. Yeah.
And like, I get being excited, but it became about him and his stories and his memories and like really dud questions. So more moderators, new moderators, and guidance for moderators. You are moderating. You are not a panelist, Scott. You are moderating.
Right. I will say that I like that. Thank you for bringing up the Celia Rose Gooding thing, because she handled that with like such like grace and like brushed it off. And she was like, is Chapel not canonically bisexual? And she was like, oh yeah, and like brought it back. She was, there has not enough, but there is a queer character in the cast. So like there is she did bring it around. So, and also she's just delightful. She's like the sweetest girl. Like, I walked past her table and waved at her, and she like sprung up and was like, hi. Like, she was delightful. Like, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman. Just randomly sang at one point. It was sick. She's incredible.
Yeah, my favorite, I think my favorite thing that wasn't actually in the con, but was still part of the con, was the sort of expanded area beyond the Masquerade Bar in the casino. That basically, for those that didn't attend, was essentially converted into a giant movie theater. And there was a different Star Trek movie every night. So
in past years, it was a ghost town because of Rio.
It was like all of the broken slot machines were just sort of shoved up against a wall. And it was actually a lovely place to hang out. It was smoke free, at least, I mean, smoke travels in a confined space, but still they asked people not to smoke over there. It was also kind of saying, like, everybody in the first section was like clearly honed in and paying attention. Everyone in the second section was kind of meh. And then we sat in the third section because we could just be our obnoxious selves and basically MST3K every Star Trek movie that was playing.
Which was so fun. And I love that, like, people weren't weird about it. I was a little worried about like getting shushed or whatever. Like, like this is not that kind of movie theater. This is like you said, the people up front, you're going to be respectful, leave them alone. But in the back, we're throwing popcorn and talking about plot holes and like, wait a minute, why did they do that?
And then making whole jokes because we are who we are.
So many jokes, including where did it go? Saturday night was for us Baram night. We all looked fucking hot, delightful.
A couple people noticed at the bar. They're like, "Oh, you're all dressed." They like bunch of people noticed. It was cute.
Yeah.
I guess that would make us the beta team, because the alpha team is sitting over there with the Emperor.
It was like, "Hey, beta team, look this way."
Yeah,
we're Alpha 2.
Yeah.
I like that better.
Also, shout out to Matt for being a good sport about the fake version of this I made where he was significantly shorter. Y'all, I had a lot of fun with Canva this past weekend and last 2 days, for sure, as I always do. But
thank you for also shrinking me a little, because I'm on in flats. I'm 6 feet tall, so putting me in 5-inch heels was a little bit of an exaggeration for those.
You are welcome for that. You are also welcome for, and this is not a knock on your camera skills; they're delightful. But if anybody notices a slight lighting difference for one person, it's because the photographer was slightly different. Highlighting.
You know what?
No, I love the shadows.
You're not too far away. I can drive to Los Angeles.
But the way I found your light, I'm very proud of that photo. You look fucking fantastic. We all do.
Listen, I'm pale enough to emit my own light, so you were cheating a little bit.
Fair enough. Speaking of creating his own light, our Matt got to see his friend Matt, the Blurred, over there on the right. A new friend Joel broke his little ships there on the left. The cosplay was delightful. I don't have pictures of everything, but I especially loved the Dabo wheel guy.
That was my favorite.
Yeah,
that was my favorite.
Fun. It actually spun, and he got to be with Chase Masterson for a little bit. And when it stopped, she yelled Dabo. There was somebody that had a tool.
I kept hearing Dabo like throughout.
Yeah, it was him.
Like every hour or so, you would just hear Dabo. It's like, oh, it's the Dabo wheel.
There was a woman who had like a tool skirt around her head that was like purple and shimmery, and then on her head was Deep Space Nine. She was the wormhole. So fucking cool. Like I loved the random, like the uniforms and shit are cool, but like the obscure, somebody did 7 of 11 as a Borg character where like they had straws as tubes and snacks from 7-Eleven on them, like they were Borgified. Star Trek fans are clever as hell. It was delightful.
And then a giant Lego piece, which was
yeah, that's right. It
was fun. Yeah,
I did my silly little shirts like I'm wearing today, and I got myself a mobile emitter. Great merch this year.
Now Stan can go everywhere. He's not just confined to one space. He has a mobile emitter.
Yeah, I should get out more. And we also handed out some of our own little goodies. We had these church fans and coasters, and we're able to give people candles, which was delightful. And also got to meet some people. I splurged this year, and I know a few others got some as well, but I had an orb experience again, talking to Nana. Want to highlight her book, Open a Channel, A Woman's Trek. This book is incredible, and I got to talk with her very briefly and just thank her for writing it and giving space to these stories. I told her about how I've been reading through it and I've had to pause because some of these things I knew, some I didn't. There are some really great, incredible, positive stories in here, and then also a lot of bullshit that a lot of these women have had to go through, Nana especially herself. And so I told her that while I am as gay as hell, there is something about the intendant, and had her sign that page. And I turned the pages for these other women into my autograph book as well. And we gave each of them a candle, which was super fun. So quick asides, Jerry and Roxanne, super packed line, had to go. I was at the tail end of them. And so didn't get to interact with Jerry very much, but I was able to tell Roxanne how excited I am when I see directed by Roxanne Dawson on my screen, and talked about how much I love Foundation, gave her a candle. And then when I gave my candle to Kate, she goes, "We love candles. Don't we just love candles?" Just a very Kate moment. Is delightful. And we will hopefully, we inquired. Steps need to be taken, but we have inquired with Nana about having her on to talk about her book. So everybody cross your fingers for that.
There was one other candle experience that was delightful. And unfortunately, I have no witnesses. But I did get to give Gates her Salon candle. And she, when I started to, I was like, it's a long story, but candles are a part of our podcast. And she said, you don't need to explain candles to me. I understand. So, and then when she read the for those of you who haven't gotten one yet, there is a little warning on the bottom of the candle that just says that the ghost lover is not included. And she did give a lot of compliments for that particular joke. She found that hilarious, and also made some sort of comment. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was like Ronin all day or something to that effect, and I felt slightly uncomfortable, but also found it hilarious. And so, yeah, we had a moment. It was great.
I also got to witness an absolutely lovely moment between Will Hart and Kate Mulgrew. Will, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I think I mentioned it here that like the first time. So I told her the story of like this ridiculous story about the like about how like I saw her on the Rosie O'Donnell show, and she was talking about doing her. She was in this one woman play called Tea at 5 where she played Katharine Hepburn, and it was after Voyager had ended. It was like 2002, I think, was when she did it, and she was on the Rosie show to talk about her show. And I remember watching it. She looked beautiful. She was wearing this like gorgeous suit. She looked fantastic. And she was talking about doing the show, and she spoke about theater and everything so passionately that it like triggered something in me to be like, maybe there's something to it if this person's so passionate about theater. Like I'd never thought about it before. Like I was mostly just amused. It was in band and played instruments. So I did that. And my life has been so full as a result of that. So I got a chance to tell her that. And I will say, she rarely looks up when she signs her autographs, but she stopped and we had nice eye contact in a very warm moment. Mm-hmm. And I ran out of that room as quickly as possible. She did ask me, she goes, "How old are you, dear?" And I said, "I'm 37. She goes, "Well, you don't look it." It was I was like, "Ooh, young." So I left. I was just like, "Bye, I have to go. I don't want to be here anymore." I was like so nervous.
I was also awkward with my individual moment, but like I noticed that as well. Like she was very busy. It was a very long line that they had to move, but she stopped. She looked him in the eye and was like, "How wonderful." It was so delightful to see. Like she took a moment.
She did. I noticed something happened when her pen went down. I was like, "Oh, something's going on." Like I was like, "Oh," because I was like watching her hand, but then I like, "Oh, her pen went down." I looked at her with me. It was lovely. It was a lovely moment.
We love a candle. Now, Trevor, I know that you've got a heart out. Is there anything that you would like to say before you have to beam away?
Probably not as impactful on my life as Will's experience, but there was somebody I really, really, really wanted to meet and got the chance. And Edward James Olmos is just somebody I've been a fan of since I was a little kid. And I got to have a relatively brief conversation, but a wonderful conversation where I told him how much of a fan I was, not only of his acting, but his activism. And he acknowledged that and was lovely to both myself and my husband, who was with me when we were getting that autograph. And just one of those where like I'm probably not going to ever be at a convention where I get to talk to him again, because I don't think he doesn't do a lot of them, and to see him if he did make an appearance would require a whole lot of travel, more than I made for STLV. So it was really, really cool, and it was wonderful to shake his hand, and yeah, it was fantastic, and I kind of wish I had recorded it so I could remember every bit of it, but it was special. So and with that, so was seeing all of you and everyone in the chat. Hi, and if you were there, it was wonderful to see you. If you weren't, I hope I see you next year. And last but not least, you've got to talk about Rachel's cosplay, because it was fantastic.
Yes.
It was
And
so
with
good.
that, I gotta go. Sorry,
And
guys. Bye.
We'll talk about
Bye,
Trevor now that he's
Trev.
moving. Yes.
Now that she's gone.
Now that Trevor's gone. Yes, I'm glad he brought that up, because the Tex Trek crew had some great cosplay. Rachel especially. I loved your Amelia Moon, and what a wonderful thing! Like I see on Christina Chong's Instagram story, my friend Rachel, like Christina was so excited to see an Amelia Moon at the conference. Just absolutely wonderful. All these lovely little moments that just kept happening for people. That's one of the things that I love about STLV is like, I'm a bitch, but I'm also like really sentimental. And with something like Trek, like again, like I had so much fun, but being able to witness that moment that you had with Kate was really lovely for me, because I was so excited for you. It's like, oh my God, this is happening for my friend. It's just everything about it. And you got to see me fall all over myself around Nana. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, you were lovely around her too. You weren't. It wasn't. I would have gradually been like, we're going away now, Stanley. But you were like, we have Ken. We'd love you to be on, and she gave that email like that. She dropped that email. So yeah.
So we will be working on that for sure.
Yeah. That's the thing. I was talking to my sister about this, and I was also high on cold medicine yesterday. But we're talking, and I said, something happens at those conventions where I feel like the actors who are in Star Trek and don't resent it, like it transforms them into these really wonderful, loving people. And like, they probably make pretty good money doing those conventions, like getting paid for the autographs and everything. Like seeing Kate's line, she walked away with a grip. Like I'm sure she walked away with a ton of money. So like,
even if they only got like $10 of that 80, which is certainly not how low it would be.
No.
But imagine that. What I'm trying to say is that long ass line. If it was only $10, which it's certainly not, it was good money. Yeah.
Yeah, she did make good money. So I mean, but like they're always so warm, and I think it's because the fans there were so respectful, and they're also sweet, and they love Star Trek so much, and like the people that take the time to meet them are the ones that really do. Like you can tell that there's more genuine, really sweet reactions with the fans, and they come to expect it and they receive it. So it was nice to see that all of them were also excited to see everyone. They're actors, but I think that they really are happy to see them. Like I don't think it's just like I can pick up on when people being disingenuous pretty quickly.
Yes.
And everyone there was just delighted to see people. Like
and you could tell like
people were interested.
Yeah, like I was so we were at the tail end of Kate's line. No change in her demeanor that I noticed. I was at the tail end, and you were with me for Jerry. No change in her demeanor, but a very like I don't know if it was like catching a flight or another panel or something. Tail end is like, we are now at the point where this has taken too long, because they are very generous with the fans. And so now it's like, she's no longer doing personalization of things. It's just a signature and go.
I waved her. I mouthed, "I love you," and she was like, "Hi." Like she was sweet, regardless. I mean, she was moving through, but she was like, it was still like
having a moment with everybody.
There was no like, come on, go, come on. It was still like, oh, thank you for so much. Oh no, and she would just move through. And I think it's just because she had a long line she had to go, which I'm like, fair. I mean, she probably had something else to go to, or they were probably just moving through her line. I think it's fine. And
I have some feedback for creation about their line management.
I filled out the questionnaire. I filled out.
Oh, you already did.
I was like, I had thoughts on the plane.
I have been writing out my thoughts, and I was several of you in the chat who were there. I would like to coordinate some of our thoughts so that they hear it from more people. The line management has been a mess every year that I've been, this year especially, because it was 30th anniversary of Voyager. they had, so for folks who don't know, the way that it works is, well, there are a couple of different ways. Sometimes people are just at their table in the vendor booth. Sometimes there's a block of time where they're somewhere specific. For the Voyager folks, several of them are not there every year. You know, Roxanne Dawson comes every couple of years. She's got a very busy directing schedule. I don't think Beltran is there every year, probably because most people hate him now because he's a dick. But the way that they did it was so wild to me, because if you have a gold package, a captain's package, a copper package, any of the packages, you have seats up front, and then some of them include autographs. And these poor people, these poor, well enough doing people to spend that kind of money had to go into each individual line for all of these people, which is fucking wild. Like, for the people who paid the packages, they should have had all of the Voyager cast lined up in a row, and all of those people just go down the line. Instead, it was at the end over here was Jerry Ryan, at the end over here was Kate, and then they had to move it, and then they had
give them time to come back.
Yes,
give them a time. Like, come back at this time. Here's your spot in line. Like, give people times, and just, you know, like, I don't know if they're able to do that, or just let people, this is your time for your autograph, come by and give the block time. Like, there's other ways to do it. It did feel like it wasn't that it was. It didn't feel respectful to, like, either the actor or to the fan.
Yeah.
The way they had it set up. It didn't feel like it was like, it felt like, this is how we're doing because we know these people are going to have huge lines. And it's like, yeah, Jerry and, you know, Kate are going to have long lines for sure. And, like, they're set up a certain way to do that. But, like, none of this was facilitated well. Like, there should have been block times. Like, there was one point where, like, they were doing a thing for the Ronberry archive, and, like, this guy was streaming his thing, and then they're like, oh, we couldn't tell where there was in line because they put it on the screen, which is a terrible system. Have some guy type a fucking thing on a screen. Terrible system. And, like, they were like, it's so fucking stupid. And then, like, we couldn't see it because he was streaming onto the TVs, and we're, like, talking to people. We're like, we don't know we're online. Should we just get in line? Because at one point the line for Kate got low, and I was like, girl, I'm gonna go over and stand in the fucking line. Yeah. Like, oh no, we're still in gold. I was like, the fuck you are? There's no one in that line. Right. There's no one in that fucking line. No one knows. Let people go stand in the goddamn line.
Yeah, none of those gold people would not be in line if they were still on gold.
No, exactly. And then they find out that panel finally ended and the screen went up, and then they said, oh, everyone now in line. And I was like, that's what I fucking thought. Yeah. And then it was a shit show, and then they had to move Kate into another room, which was fine. But like, it was rather annoying. That part of it was really stupid. Like, don't have them in there while there's a panel. Like, don't do it in there.
Like, there are other places that they could have been. Like, there's I think there's like a VIP section where, like, talent can hang out. Like, let's find somewhere else for that to be. Like, there were spaces that they were not using effectively. The Vic's Lounge and the art gallery / Lego thing, those need to switch. Like, the Vic's Lounge being right next to the DeForest Kelley Lounge or theater, so panels in both of them are happening. If you're at the back, you're hearing both.
It gets cacophonous, and it's hard to understand where everything's going. It's just, that was a little annoying, and it was towards the end of the day. It was just like, this is not. What
and we should say, let's be clear, this was not on the day of staff. These are choices that were made by creation ahead of time. The day of staff, they were all very flustered. They were doing their best. They're like, what do you mean? Like, this is not where it should have been. Like,
there was a few people who handled complaints and things really well. I'll say that the on the ground people were very gracious, and they're very understanding. And they understood that we weren't frustrated at them. We were frustrated with the system that was happening. And they, fill out the survey when it's done. They said that they take feedback.
Yeah, they have. I will say the differences between the last 3 years, I can see from feedback. But line management, where they placed people, getting information to people. like they left a lot to be desired, and I hope for the 60th anniversary, which will, I would imagine, be much bigger.
Much bigger, yeah.
Like, people are going to want to go for the 60th because they had a huge guest list this year, but like there's some people that aren't going to be around much past the 60th year, so they're going to go to be seen. There are some who like this is a big income source for them, and then there are most of them, like you said earlier, they have a really lovely time, and they really do love being part of the franchise, and having these moments, so they want to be there. But yeah, creation puts on a good con. But like I was thinking about my my political career, because I, with some friends after a training, we were looking at our debrief, and there were some logistical things, and we said, well, it was a good training if all of the deltas are about the logistics. And that's what I was thinking about here, is like this con was great. It could go from great to excellent very easily. A few changes with moderators, line management, where things are placed, and information availability, and then a little bit of stuff with the hotel. I will say the hotel front desk needed more staff, because those kiosks, you can only check in and out. You can't troubleshoot. Like, I had to troubleshoot Will and I's room. Could not do that without a human, and it was difficult to get to a human. But the Rio looks a lot better than it did last year, and it looks like a completely different hotel than it did 2 years ago. So I don't want to end on a negative.
Yeah, next year it'll be even better.
Yes. Any final thoughts, Will? Any final thoughts in the chat?
Final thoughts. No, I think I will, at the risk of being sentimental, it was this was a weekend that, like, I think it was great because of all of you guys being there and meeting all of our, the people that come on this every day, like meeting Joel in person and Chris, and wearing the transporter badge, and this one we got. Like, it was so cool to sit there and meet people that I talk to online. I talk to you all weekly, but I don't put a face to a name. So it was nice to see everyone, interact with people, and be around other Trek fans, and then be with my good Salon friends. I think it couldn't have been a better weekend. I mean, that's not true, but I think but like, I think
the rest of our Salon friends being there would have made it better. Better line management would have made it better.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was
being rich would have made
wonderful. Oh yeah, we're working on that. But next year, it's gonna be even better, and I'm so excited to go back. So
yeah, Will and I keep having
get ready to get sick of me at the con next year.
Oh, not possible. But like I kept saying, I keep having these, like, if I'm ever rich, I won't brag about it, but there will be signs. Like, I will have a lot of Great Danes for sure. That's one of them. But like, my cosplay is going to be insane. That will be the sign. But yeah, I had a delightful time. The Salon is the best part of my week, and being able to hang out with you and the others, being able to see people we don't see, like you just said, the interactions with the cast, absolutely wonderful. But the con isn't just for that. It's the whole experience that makes it wonderful. And it gave me the opportunity to do this. Any final thoughts before we go ahead and end this?
No, that's it. I don't have anything. It was fun. It was exactly what it was. The spirit of Star Trek was very much in the room with us.
Yes.
I'll say that. It was great.
All right. Well, thank you all. We'll if Matt's able to join us on Thursday for the Salon, we'll do a quick recap there as well, and talk about doing this. This Thursday at 6:30 p.m., we will have a double whammy. We will be talking about last week's episode and the one that's forthcoming this week. So get excited. Please like and subscribe, and tell all your friends. And until Thursday, Please live long and prosper. Thank you so much.
All hands abandon ship. Proceed to the nearest evacuation zone immediately.